Hey guys, welcome back to Admiral Reviews. I know I wasn't able to post last week. I was in Florida getting some good ass rest and sunshine, and you know, I missed last chapter of One Piece, but now I'm back again to review this chapter, One Piece chapter 863. And my god, was it a good chapter to come back to. You know, this chapter was fucking excellent. So the chapter starts off and Luffy talks about how in last chapter we see a whole bunch of Luffys pop out, and this chapter we find out the first thing starts off with Luffy's telling everybody, and he wants Brûlé to make copies of himself of the animals that he's captured. So all the Luffys that we see right now coming out of the cake are different animals that look like Luffy due to Brûlé's powers. And once we see this guy come out and we see Luffy, you know, the first reaction that we see is the Big Bird type, the guy in charge of the World Economic News, and he's like, oh, one of the worst generations is popping out the cake. Like, it's straight out some Mean Girls. Like, this character, you could tell, like, he's into the gossip. Like, everything that pops off, he's at his table, like, oh my god, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. So he's really into all this, you know, drama that's happening. Like, hey, moving on, so we have Luffy popping out the cake, and the cake is starting to tumble over. And after, when we see the cake is tumbled over, Big Mom loses her shit. Like, everybody's they're trying to calm her down, like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Big Mom's losing her shit, and then Big Mom tells to the cooks, like, go make me another cake right now, or some gangster shit right now. Right now! And the cooks are like, you know, we can't do that. We put so much preparation. There's no way we're gonna have another cake. And she's like, all right, make me a cake or, you know, die. That's basically the option, you know. And then again, we get the Big Bird like, oh, she's about to use her power, the soul snatching power, like the soul snatching power. And, you know, this guy's face reactions are priceless. But yeah, so he's into the drama, and, you know, Big Mom's like, all right, make me a new cake or you die. And of course they can't make a new cake, so you can see right here she uses her powers, which is one of her moves, of being able to snatch the soul from people. You know, she gives you two choices. You can either, you know, do what she asks you to do, or she kind of basically takes your life. And, you know, the guy, the World Economic News, brings up an interesting point. He says she can only snatch your soul if you're scared or you fear death, which is already a flag right there why Luffy, you know, kind of topples over this power. But moving on, it's going to play a big part later on. So as we move on, Big Mom, you know, there's so much confusion with so many Luffys popping around. She remembers, oh, this is Straw Hat Luffy, the one that, you know, challenged to, you know, dethrone, she tells us to challenge me. And she was like, okay, which one is the real Straw Hat Luffy? Now, this is a plan. Like, Big Mom's in confusion. You know, she doesn't know what's going on. No one knows what's going on. Like, you know, the Straw Hat Alliance with the Capone Pirates, they have the upper hand. You know, with all these Luffys, they have the upper hand with the, you know, with all these confusion. And then Luffy's like, oh, I'm the real one. And I'm like, what the fuck, Luffy? I'm like, why did you do this? You had the upper hand. Why would you say you're the real one? I know he's Luffy. That just saying because he's Luffy, you know, is an excuse for everything in this series, but why? And like, even Capone, you had to see his face. Capone's like, sorry. After that scene with Big Mom and Luffy, you know, Luffy finally sees the portrait, which is part of the plan to at least knock over or, you know, destroy the portrait. And he sees it, so he's like, you know, this is my chance to go get it. And, you know, that's where Capone tells his guys, all right, be ready with these launchers. Like, at any minute, we have to go. And these guys are like, all right, ready. So Luffy goes, and he sees the portrait. He's about to attack it, and Katakuri comes, and he's able to stop Luffy with his power, which is the Mochi Mochi no Mi. So he's able to control, he's a Logia type, so he's able to control Mochi, which is a sticky rice, you know, substance made into treats in Japan. So basically, you know, he's able to turn his body into a sticky substance. So Luffy's unable to move. So he's out for the portrait. So I wonder who's gonna knock over this portrait then. So as Luffy's stuck, Jimbe comes to the rescue, because Jimbe is probably the toughest person at this party right now. He's boss Jimbe. So he uses his fisherman karate, which uses moisture, water, and he tells them all about Katakuri's powers, how he's a Logia type and uses mochi. And he says once you add water to it, his powers almost become kind of useless, because once the water is added to the stickiness, it loses its texture, loses the stickiness. So after Jimbe stops Katakuri's attack, Big Mom steps up to Jimbe and she's like, oh, so you're trying to break our alliance, you know, you're trying to leave my crew. And so Jimbe's like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to join the Straw Hats. And the most two excited people in these panels is Luffy, who's like, yeah, Jimbe, you trying to join our crew finally? And then the guy from the World Economic News, like, he's like, one of the 7 warlords joining up with the Straw Hats? This is scandalous. And so, you know, Big Mom is like, all right, well, you can leave, but I'm gonna have to take your soul. And she gives him either you could stay or you die, basically. And Jimbe's like, you know what, I'm leaving this crew no matter what. So when she tries to use her powers to snatch Jimbe's soul, it doesn't work. And Jimbe says, you know, I don't fear Yonko. I'm trying to join the crew of a pirate king. What is a king to a god? What is a god to a non-believer? Hope that's not copyrighted. But yeah, so she's like, you're just a Yonko. I'm trying to join the crew to the next pirate king. So I have nothing to fear. You don't scare me whatsoever. So because he doesn't fear death, Jimbe is able to, you know, escape that the power that she has to snatch your soul. But Big Mom's pissed that her powers aren't working, so she's like, fuck it, if I can't snatch your soul, Zeus, Prometheus, get this man. Get him now. And you know, Jimbe was trying to leave peacefully by drinking some sake in the middle of this shit. I was like, what the fuck? Where'd you get the sake and why would you decide to bring this shit out now? But fuck it. And then she's about to call Prometheus and Zeus to attack her, to attack Jimbe. And this was not seen. I don't know whoever saw this would happen, but Brooke in a mask, looking like Luffy or trying to look like Luffy, creeps up on this picture of Mother Carmel and he smashes this shit. On some gangster shit. Now, if Brooke didn't have people's respect before, with, you know, with the facing Big Mom and stealing the poneglyphs, then you have to respect Brooke now. Like, honestly, like Brooke, you know, he was in that mid-tier of the Straw Hats. Now, Brooke, you've earned your, like, right as of right now, it's like it's Luffy, you know, Zoro and Sanji as the upper tier people, and then there's Brooke now. Like, you've earned yourself a top tier position in the Straw Hats, bro. Like, you becoming the truest MVP of the MVPs. And that's where the chapter ends. My man Brook, you know, smashed that shit, and that's what we got. So, great chapter, you know, great build up, you know, we got a lot of things in this chapter. And, you know, what do you think of this chapter? You know, how did you feel about Brooke smashing, you know, this thing? What do you think is going to happen in next chapter? Because I think we have a break. I'm not too sure. I think we have a break next week. So we may not have a chapter next week. But what do you think is going to happen in the next chapter? So let me, guys, you know, let me know what's going on, what you think. And all I got to say is have a nice ass day. Hey guys, did you like the video? Please, if you did so, please hit that like button. If you have any questions you would like to ask, please put them down in the comments section. I'll be willing to answer any questions that you have. And if you like what I'm doing with the channel and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified on my future videos. And other than that, all I gotta say is have a nice ass day.